Today we're going to be playing around with holographic makeup, and I use the term holographic only because the brands are calling them holographic. I don't want to sit here and argue over semantics, but like, this is holographic. This is shimmery, multi-chromatic, but I guess holographic is like a buzzword. We're gonna go with it. I'm gonna be testing out a couple of different products today. The first one is the IGK Foamo holographic hair foam, and I've played around with this a little bit and I like it. I think it's really cool, but I want to actually show you guys the application process, because for the most part when I've tried it out, I've done it like with my hairs in like buns, so it's just kind of like slick to my head, so it's kind of easy to just smooth it over. And I want to test out actually like running it through my hair and trying to color my strands. And since I'm about to get my hair recolored, because damn roots, I decided that I would actually show you guys this on my natural hair color as well as on my fun colors, and maybe even try it like down here where the hair's a little darker, because some people want to know what it looks like on dark hair, and while I don't have dark hair, I have kind of sort of like I can make it work. And then in the second half of the video, I'm going to be playing around with the new Urban Decay Disco Queen set. This is very cool. This is billed as a holographic highlight. So we're gonna play around with it. I already have makeup on. I just retouched everything, so we should be good to go in terms of putting new makeup on. BT dubs, if you are looking for a mascara that for real is waterproof, I cried earlier today and this shit is still on. Just saying. Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara is still my bae. This is amazing, amazing stuff. I just said it's my bae. Who am I? I want to use these on two different sides of my head, so I'm going to start out with the Meteor, which is really pretty. This is the cooler toned one, the more like blue toned. So you want to shake them up because it's like a hair mousse. And I did notice that these did seem to give my hair a little bit of volume. Cool, it didn't go everywhere. So you can see the foam has kind of like a gray look to it, but as it sort of dries out like on my hand, it'll develop kind of a purpley blue color, and once I pop the bubble, it's a little more blue on the inside. So, you know, let's actually start this out. I'm going about this all wrong. I'm putting it on both fingers. What I want to do is kind of smooth it out between the two fingers, and then kind of do this kind of jazz to get it in the hair, just kind of scrunching it on. That's hot. Can you see it? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's like a light misting, but it's not terribly loud. So the way that I was playing around with this in store, it does smell good, I'll give it that. The way that I was playing around with this in store was to actually take selective strands and sort of coat the hair with it that way. You see I made it much more blue. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my roots now to show you guys what that looks like. It really does work best if you sort of pat it over the surface hair. This isn't something like if you have a lot of hair, I don't know if this is really going to be super effective for like a long, you know, like a large swath of hair. And then what I'm going to do is continue to bring that down those same strands so we can see the full transition from my natural hair to the colorful hair. Ooh, that looks so cool over the green. That looks really cool, guys. You are going to end up using quite a bit of this. This is now the third time. So we're getting a definite slick down kind of look, but I'm going to see if I can kind of scrunch it up and brush it out in a bit. Oh my god, look what they did on the purple. Oh, that looks so freaking diggity dope. Oh, that looks bomb. As you can see, I dispensed a little bit less of this color, and I decided to use the brush, which is the, you know, the correct way, quote unquote, to use mousse to get an even distribution of it throughout your hair. And as you can see, it's giving me just that, and I think that this is my favorite method overall for applying this, because it just gives it kind of evenly throughout the hair. And I think that this is really a product that works best as just kind of giving you like a shimmer tint rather than trying to change the color of your hair. I did go through with my hand, you can see I'm applying a lot more of it here because I just wanted to see like what kind of impact I can get. But when I'm using this on my own and I'm not testing it for YouTube, that's how I would use it, is just applying it, you know, in my hand, touching the brush to it, and then running the brush through my hair to distribute it evenly. So it's sort of making my hair crunchy, which is what mousse does for the most part if you don't like blow dry it out. I still think it's kind of cool. Not sure if this is like an everyday kind of thing. I think I'm gonna like let it dry a little bit and then try to like brush it out and make my hair look like softer. I've tried to like kind of squinch it up a little bit throughout the process of this, but it is kind of giving me that kind of like, you know, 90s mousse hair, gelled hair look. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and play around with these products from Urban Decay. So this is the Disco Queen. There are two different products in here. It's the Disco Queen highlighter. This is $29. And then there's the Disco Stick, which is $26. So what I'm going to do is start with the Disco Stick, because let's have some fun. This beat is sick. I want to take a ride with this Disco Stick. Zoom this in so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. I am going to not apply this directly to my skin, because I find that any kind of like stick highlighter just applied straight to the skin is going to disturb your makeup, and you're going to have a bad time. So I will bounce my brush on this a couple of times to pick up product, and I'll kind of peek and see what's going on. And then this is bad lighting. I don't think you guys can see. Let's move my little desk lamp. That doesn't help. We actually have a little bit better lighting on this side, so let's try it over here. It is fairly subtle. It's not really like in your face, but it is a really pretty glow. In some ways it reminds me of like a smaller particle version of the Fenty Beauty confetti stick that they had, which I loved as well. This is just like a slightly smaller particle, a little more pink toned. It's quite lovely actually, and it's not like greasy or too shimmery either. I really like that. That's pretty. Yes, queen, blend all the highlight. So that was with a round synthetic brush. Now I'm going to try it with a flat brush like this, which is going to pick up a little more product. These are natural bristles, which tend to pick up a bit more product. So this is when you want like that really intense kind of highlight from it. So you can see we got a little bit more there. It still doesn't seem like it's going to go to like the crazy metallic stage, which I'm actually thankful for. I like to be able to like, kind of play with my highlight and not have it go full force right away. The packaging on this is kind of cool. It's like the whole tube is holographic. Even this part is sort of holographic, which is quite cool. My personal taste is for a highlighter that is a little bit more like this, where it's like a little bit, oh gosh, that's actually really pretty on my cheek. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Over the top of that, we're gonna go crazy. I'm gonna use the Disco Queen with another highlighter brush. This one is also a synthetic, so it picks up product lovely. And there you can see it's really giving that violet tint. And I'll zoom it in for you, because that's how I do it, so you can see. That gives it that violet edge, which is perfect because Urban Decay, their charity organization, is called the Violet Edge. Let's try like some bridge of the nose highlight. I don't know how I'm gonna like this. It's the end of the day, so if I don't like my makeup, I can just wash it off. It's not a big deal. I'm not really wearing any eyeshadow, so I guess I could put this here and see what that does. So you can see it leaves a little bit of a pink tint on the skin. This is a really good representation of a place that doesn't have any makeup on it. You can see it's sort of like a sparse glitter. This is kind of a cool way to test a highlighter, is on the eyelids where there's no other product. Like I don't even have primer or anything on. And then back it up. Cool! Would I classify these as holographic? Probably not. Are they cool? Yeah, I think they're cool. They're fun. I particularly like the Disco Stick because it didn't feel greasy. It didn't feel really wet. It didn't feel super, super sparkly. So it's a little bit easier to digest than a lot of other like really out there highlighters. And I tend to prefer the ones that are pretty subdued but have something fun about them. Like this one has a pretty sparkle in it, but it's not like ah! Okay, back to the hair. The hair is just about dry. Let's try combing it out. And by the way, my brush completely covered in that stuff from me touching it earlier. By the way, this brush is from Spornet. This is a fantastic brush. It's got both boar bristles and nylon bristles, so it's good for teasing and brushing the hair out. Ooh, that's crunchy. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on brushing it until it's soft. That's the goal here. My hair feels like it's got texture powder in it. It feels Like it's got a little bit of grip to it. Like if I wanted to style it, it would actually, you know, hold whatever style I had in it. I was able to get my hair relatively soft looking again. I feel like maybe there's still some kind of flatness happening at the rootage, but I mean, we did put like a crap load of this mousse stuff in it. Definitely think that this works best when I put the mousse in my hand, and rather than try to do this, because that's just gonna spread it all over your hand and you get that, you know, you get the pretty blue hand. It's not really gonna do anything for your hair that way. So the best way to do this, I found, is to have it in your hand and dip a little bit and then apply it a little bit at a time, or to dip your brush in and apply it like this, like normal mousse. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what it looks like now. So you can see that the glitter is still there. I don't love the pink on my natural roots. It's fine. I just, you know, it doesn't really tickle my pickle, but it's definitely still there, which is interesting. So it's definitely tinting the hair. I think that this actually might show up better on darker hair because my natural hair color is sort of weird blonde, no color hair thing. It's not going to be super vibrant over it. The places where I applied it on the green. So I applied it pretty heavily to this, and you can see that it has changed the color slightly of that strand. It's made it a little bit more of like a blue color. And then over here, it also kind of made it a little bit of a grayish blue color. So, I mean, they kind of show up about the same. This one's just like a little bit more like pastel-y, and this one shows up a little bit more aqua. But they kind of, over my colored portion of my hair, they look pretty much the same. It's just over the roots you can kind of see the difference. So now I want to see what it does with some space buns, because why not? So I'm just trying to like really comb the hair through to make it soft and see how much of the color actually comes out. There is a fair amount of powder everywhere, but can you still see the color in the hair is the question. In terms of getting like a pastel look, the Moon Rock one did pastel my hair out a bit more than the Meteor one. This one actually gave my hair just a tiny bit of a blue tint, but because of the color of my hair already, it doesn't really show up that much. This is a really good example of my hair, my natural hair color right here, and we've got good light on it. So I'm going to give this one last try. I just got a little tiny bit. Now see, that's dope. That looks really cool. You know, from some angles it still looks like my natural hair color. And you're like, oh, what's going on? Now that my desk is completely covered in shimmer powder, I am really glad that I tested these out and played around with them for you guys. You know, a product like this is just kind of a niche, fun thing to play around with. I don't think that it's ever going to replace coloring your hair. It's just kind of cool. And it's a way to add some shimmer. I really like the idea of kind of adding it to an updo like that. I think it looks pretty cool. I want to give a shout out to my Patreons. I started a Patreon to sort of offset some of the costs associated with blogging, and also to fund things like my bra reviews, which tend to get demonetized. If you would like to become a patron, I will have my link to my Patreon down below. I have a lot of different rewards that are going to be going on, giveaways and things of that nature. So I hope that you guys will join me on there. And if not, don't worry about it. You can still enjoy my content for free. I'm not going to be taking anything away from YouTube to give to Patreon. It's just sort of an added thing that I'm doing. I will see you guys in my next video. Remember that I might be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.